Good evening, everyone. We're continuing our series, The Psychology of the Mind and the Brain. It's number 8 today. We made 7 lectures so far. Half of the series we finished, at least half, maybe more. And it's very, very successful series. It's going everywhere in Hebrew and in English. We make one also in Hebrew. It's very important. Every person should learn it very carefully because it's mamash a life-changing series. Just the same thing we had the Path to the Just, which changed the life of so many thousands, and the Pirkei Avot series. This is just as important. It's very important. Tonight, after me, we have a special guest, Rabbi Ronen Shaulo from Eretz HaKodesh, from Eretz Israel. We just had a lecture a few weeks ago in Eretz Israel together, him and me. In Eretz Israel, it's not like here. There's minimum 500 people come every night. There's no room to enter. Over here, people are sleepy. They have it online. The online country. So, Baruch Hashem. But it's a zchut. It's a zchut to hear a speaker. He will speak to you in Russian, I believe. A speaker that comes every once in a while to give a speech is a zchut, not to miss it. Me, I'm here every day. Around every other day. But he comes every once in a while. Baruch Hashem, it's an opportunity to get something, a little bit of refreshment. So, if you remember, last week we finished with speaking about raising children, how not to make critical mistake with the kids that later on we pay a tremendous price. We finished last lecture that we have to let every kid, we have to know every kid enough to know what's good for him. Not every kid you can give the same treatment. Sometimes, and we spoke last week about what it's written in the books in the last few hundred years, that they used to sometimes hit children in order to educate them correctly. I explained the difference between the generations that passed to today's generation. I say that today it's not possible to do it. You can only get the worst thing comes out of it, because today the kids rebel. They don't accept it as an act of love. They don't accept it as something that they could live with. They feel that they have to take revenge, and they become worse, actually. It's true that for some kids it may help, but most of the children it's not going to help at all. The reason is, what's the difference between today to previous generation? One main difference. The Zohar and the Gemara, they told us that before Mashiach come, it will be a very rude generation, very arrogant. Pnei ador kepnei hakelev. The face of the generation will be like the face of the dog. The reason Chazal, the sages, they chose the dog from all the animals, even though there are 2 million different kinds of animals, they chose the dog. The reason is because the dog is the only animal that even if you do nothing to the dog, he attacks you. You walk in the street and there's a dog by one of the neighbors, by the gate, or by the fence, the dog immediately attacks you. You didn't do anything, you're just walking. If you walk next to a tiger, it doesn't make a beep. If you walk next to a lion, any monkey, giraffe, any kinds of animal, they'll look at you. As long as you don't start with them, they won't attack you. The only animal that attack you, no matter what you do, and bark and go crazy and jump on a fence, it's the dog. That's why they gave an example from the dog. Pnei ador kepnei hakelev. Also, they say that the arrogance will reach the highest level. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, that wrote the Zohar, the Kabbalah, the founder of Kabbalah. Of course, the Kabbalah was already from the time of Moshe Rabbeinu, but the one who wrote it officially in the Zohar is Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai said, he was crying when he actually said it, I don't want to live in the last generation before Mashiach would come. The situation will be so horrible that me, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, I do not want to be in that generation. That's how bad it will be. Why? Because of the things that I mentioned. That's why today you don't treat the kids like you used to treat them 50 years ago. Forget about it, it's over. Now The only way to get things out of them, of course, you have to be tough when you need to be tough. Definitely no violence. You have to be very careful. You want to do something positive, you ended up doing something negative. That was the conclusion of the last lecture. Today we continue. The Gaon Mivilna that explained the whole book of Mishlei by King Solomon, Proverbs. This is what we based on this most of this series on the explanation of the Gaon Mivilna on the verses of Mishlei. The Gaon Mivilna explained on this verse. Listen to this. It says like this: "Ve'al haklala u'shvu'a ve'chazav takeh otam b'makot achzariyot." It says by King Solomon that lived 3,000 years ago, the smartest person ever lived. Even the Goyim admit that the smartest person ever lived is King Solomon. And he wrote that when the kids curse, dirty mouth, when they curse, when they swear, they say the name of Hashem and they swear, and when they lie, you have to hit them. Again, today you don't touch them. You have to talk and you have to explain and to pray a lot to Hashem that it will work out. But the question that we have to ask, what's so special about these three things that King Solomon was so strict about it? Meaning, if he had a son and his son did something like that, he would hit him, give him a smack. The question is why? Kids do a lot of bad things. What's so special about this? It's very interesting because one time I went with one of the biggest psychologists in the Jewish world, the religious Jewish world. His name is Dr. Rabbi Greenwald from Monsey. He used to be in Monsey, then he moved to Eretz Israel. I think now he's in Lakewood, very old. He was together connected with a Stipler, the father of Rav Chaim Kanievsky. He's officially a doctor, a psychologist. And he once told me when I drove with him to visit someone in a hospital in Manhattan that was dying from cancer, unfortunately passed. On the way to visit that person, I had an opportunity, I was driving, to ask him a lot of questions. And I asked him about children. I told him, when do you have to retaliate severely and when you have to let go? So he said, kids, what you know that eventually they grow out of, once they become older. For instance, if a kid jump on a table and broke it, he jump on a glass after you told him don't stand on a glass, don't stand on a table, and he jumped on a table and broke it. Now obviously if he was 12 years old he wouldn't do it, right? Why did he do it? Because he's 4 or 5. Eventually he'll grow out of it, he won't continue to do things like this. Things like this don't need punishment. They don't need punishment. Why? Because eventually it will come out of his system one way or the other. Things that if you do not retaliate will become a habit. When he grows later on, it will become actually worse. You have to fight very, very seriously. So when the kids begin to lie, when they're young and they lie, you don't ignore it, because only the lies will become worse and worse and a way of life. You have to stop it immediately when it starts. And you got to make a very big deal out of it. When they curse, if you don't clean their language, it becomes a way of life. Like in America, every other word is a curse. Lawyers, doctors, even the President of the United States, that's how they talk. You know, when they're off the camera, every second word, they have, the words that they curse, the Americans. It became a culture. It became officially the American culture. Almost every educated college degree, master degree American, every second word is a curse. How it became like that, an epidemic? No one ever addressed it when it started. If they make a huge big deal out of it, now one person will continue with that. Because society accepted it, it became a way of life. And when people swear on lies, on even in the truth, when they say the name of Hashem in vain, that's a very big sin. It's as a violation of the 10 Commandments. When people swear and they use the name of Hashem in vain, if you do nothing about it, it also becomes a way of life. I swear in God, I swear in God. In Hebrew it's very serious. Some say even in English you're not allowed to say it. Some say even in English the word God have some holiness in it. Why? It's referring to the creator of the world. And in numeric value it's also 26. It's no coincidence. The name Yud Ke Vav Ke, it's 26. Yud it's 10, He it's 5, Vav it's 6, and He it's 5, 26. God, G-O-D, 26. In numeric value. Is it coincidence? Probably not. Hashem designed it in such a way that even in English the name will be a little bit more special than other words. Of course, if somebody swore in the name of God in English, you don't execute him or bring him to justice in a court in the time of Sanhedrin, just like when he does it in Hebrew. That's already a different story. But we are talking now that people, if you don't stop them when they're young by lying, cursing, and swearing, it will be very difficult. So King Solomon say, be tough with them, meaning hit. But today it doesn't work. You hit, he is going to hate you. And he's going to wait for the minute that he can go free and take revenge against you. Plus today, they brainwash them, call 911 against your parents. Became a way of life here in America. That's also a problem. You can get into a lot of trouble. Give him a little smack on the hand, and get you into a very serious problem. It will cost you $100,000 with lawyers. It's also something to consider. I know people who got into trouble with that. With a little touch. Once or twice, that's it, they got into trouble. One way or the other, since it doesn't work, why taking the risk? Let's move on. First thing, in the Gaon Mivilna, in the Gra, he explained that there is a difference between behaving to teaching. Meaning, let me explain. For bad behaving, back in the time, it was possible to hit. But again, I spoke last week and I explained all the rules that apply to it. You cannot do it when you're angry. You cannot do it as revenge. You cannot do it to take your frustration. You cannot do it too hard. You cannot do it too long. It has to be very short, very light, just to make a point. And again, today it doesn't apply. There's a reason why I repeated it 5 times, because people somehow always twist what I say. That's why, unfortunately, I have to repeat it 5 times to make sure that even those liars, they will think 5 times before they twist my words. Because usually 3 times doesn't help. So I try 5. Let's see if it's going to work. Okay, so now, when you want to educate the kid, what to do, what not to do, when you want to educate the kids to what to do, what not to do, like I said before, about curses and stuff like that, and swearing and lying, right? Only for curse, swearing, and lying. That's it. The beginning of the letter of the Gra, the Gaon Mivilna wrote a famous letter, it's called Igeret HaGra. He speaks very much about the importance of speech. In case you didn't know, if a man sits and learns Torah 70 years, and he became holy, just like the big giant rabbis that we had in our time, Rabbi Ovadia Yosef, Rav Eliashiv, Rav Shach, many holy rabbis that we had in our generation, Rav Steinman, Rav Kanievsky, Steipler, all these giants, Rav Ben Zion Abba Shaul. So when a person sits 70 years and learns, 70 years is with the books. He's not connected to the world. He doesn't see women. He doesn't listen to radio. He doesn't even know what sport is. Mamash, a very holy person. Very holy person. It's enough that one time, after 7 years of learning, that he already have Ruach HaKodesh. Ruach HaKodesh. He knows already who's going to come in the door in a minute. To that level he reached. He see a person, he knows everything about him, like the Steipler was. People used to come with a hat down that he cannot look at their forehead. Because as soon as he looked at their forehead, he already knew everything about them. The Steipler. And there are people who were there and they saw how he sometimes told people, get out of here. Don't come into my room. All the fakers and the crooks and the sinners that do sins behind the sin. So what happened? Someone that reached such a level One curse out of his mouth. Not the worst curse. An average curse. And he lose immediately 70 years of holiness that it took him 70 years to build. Immediately he lose all of it in 1 second. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't lose the actual mitzvah of learning Torah. What you learn Torah, you're already wired to your next world. Nobody can take it away from you. The holiness that comes with learning Torah and watching the eyes and watching the ears and the mouth and all of that, and you build up a very high level of holiness, that mamash, you're in a very high level spiritually, in one curse, you lose it all. One curse, 5 seconds, 2 seconds, whatever it takes. That's how severe what comes out of the mouth. Usually by the way people talk and the way they express the words, if they have a clean language or not, you know everything about them, how they behave with women. What's the connection? The way a person talk, you can see a big rabbi that knows Torah will tell you right away if he's modest with women or not, behind the scene. Right away. Why? The Kabbalah explains that there's connection between the mouth and the sexual organs. Big connection, spiritual connection, not physical connection. So the idea is that people that do not understand that, they can cause themselves or to their children a horrible, severe damage. And this is what the Gaon Mivilna say, that something like this you cannot ignore. When it starts by the children, you have to do everything you can to stop it when they're very young. Make a huge deal out of it. Give them huge reward not to repeat it. Constantly talk to them. But remember, criticism, like I said so far in this series, in a positive way. What does it mean, criticism in a positive way? Don't tell them how bad you are, what a loser you are, how stupid you are, how dumb you are, how weak you are. Don't say that. Say, righteous people behave like this. Smart kid like you can do better than this. Someone like you can definitely get 100 piece of cake if you only try 10 more minutes to prepare for the test instead of playing basketball all day. Don't say to him, you rasha, you wicked, you lazy, you neglecting, you don't care, you have no yirat shamayim, you a loser. All these words that parents use, it's an atomic bomb. You gotta be very careful. I want everyone to keep it in mind. I mean, all of you, most of you are parents here, or grandparents, or will be one day parents, Bezrat Hashem. This is critical information. Life of people depend on what you're going to do. You can do the same exact criticism, same achievement, meaning the kid will get the point by speaking positive or, God forbid, in a very negative way. The positive will build him up, the negative will destroy him. That's it. That's how it is. ואל יכביד המלמד ולא עליהם. A rabbi, a teacher, should not be too aggressive with the kids. Not too heavy on their head. כי הלימוד אינו נקבע באדם כי אם ביישוב הדעת ונחת. When kids don't like their rabbi, there's no chance they will ever do good in school. No chance. If the father, the kid doesn't like him or it's too aggressive with him, he won't be able to concentrate in the learning. Only with hugs and compliments and lots of patience, it will work. If you don't have patience, better you don't learn with your children. Get somebody paying money, let him learn with him. Why? Why should I pay money? I know Torah, I know Gemara. I myself used to be a teacher. Let me teach. No. You can only teach if there's chemistry between you and the kid. With one kid you may have it, with the other one you don't. You don't, find someone to do it. Make a deal with your friend. I'll teach your kid, you teach mine. Somebody has to teach them. Someone has to go over the school with them, what they learn. But not always you have to push it by force. It will make more damage. So, only when a person has yeshuv hadat, his mind is settled, he's not nervous. ונתון תיתן להם פרוטות וכיוצא בזה לשמחל ויועים ללימודם. Another rule with children. Always give incentive. If you learn good, whatever ice cream you like, I'm buying you. I'll give you $5. I'll give you $10, whatever. Everyone based on his ability. Give them something to look forward to. Children, especially when they're younger than 6 years old, excuse my comparison, I did not do it, it's Ben Ish Chai, the holy Ben Ish Chai. Up to 6 years old are 100% equal to monkeys. Monkeys will perform when you give them peanuts or bananas. No peanuts, they don't perform. You throw a few peanuts, they do whatever you want. Same thing dolphins. You throw a few fish in the air, they'll do everything you want. That's how children are up to 6 years old. From then on, they begin to mature and understand. But prizes work all the time, even by adults. I give you an example. If they're asking for someone volunteer to come help someone to do chesed, some will do, most of the people won't do. Moshe, go volunteer, Tomche Shabbos. No, what? I work all day, now you want me to go give boxes to poor people? Let the young guys that are unemployed do chesed. I work very hard in a business all day. My head is pounding. You tell them, no, you didn't get me wrong. I didn't ask you to volunteer. Pay you $100 an hour. Just come with your van, that's all. 3 hours, $300. Where? Where? No, wait, someone else wants to do the job. No, take me. A minute ago I wanted to kill you. Reward works. You have to know how it goes. Reward usually works. Let's move on. ועל הלימוד לא תרביץ להם. The מלמד, back in the time, they used to have a stick. Ask the Persian and Bukharian people. When they did not learn, they tell them, put your fingers on the table. Same thing they do in Iran today. The kids had a nightmare to come to school. Nightmare. It's like mamash going to a ghetto or something. What kind of teaching is this? You want to make people animals that they only behave when under fear? The idea is to make them love the learning. Build relationship with them. At one hand, you have to be an authority, you're a father or you're a rabbi, but on the other hand, you have to be extremely in good relationship and love with them. Compliments, prizes, that's the way today it works. ואולם על הלימוד לא תרביץ להם. Don't hit them for not learning good. אלא אדרבה, the opposite. המחנך לא יכבידו לו על הילד. Don't be too strict with the kid. Let go. Give them some money. Here, go buy yourself ice cream. Go outside, relax, and come back. When you feel that you relax, come back into the class. As long as you need. Oh yeah? You don't mind? No, I don't mind. You're not going to give me a punishment? No. I want you to relax. When you're in the mood to learn, come back in a class. Once, twice, 3 times, he's going to take advantage, and that will be for the rest of his life. By then, he's going to always come, because the people have, it's called reverse psychology. Reverse psychology. Also, when children are young, their parents force them to come to shul. Who told you it's good for them to come to shul? Younger than 5 years old, it's not good to bring them to shul because it disturbs everyone. He walks around, he falls, he makes noise, he plays with the chairs. It's not good to bring them. So up to 5, there's nothing to talk about. Bringing them, it's more a sin than mitzvah. If after 5 he's not behaving like a monkey and he can sit, it's only with condition that he has a place to play outside when he gets tired. It's very difficult to ask a 5-year-old or 6 to sit 2.5 or 3 hours or 4 hours on Shabbat on a chair not to move. It's really not fair. You have no idea what damage you're making. He's going to hate davening for the rest of his life. It will be the nightmare of his life until the day he dies. You should do the other way around. Abba, I want to come to shul with all the other brothers. No, you're too young. No, I want. No, not yet. Make him beg a year or 2. No, you're not yet. No, you cannot come. When you tell him no, all his life he will wish for it. That's how the people are. I once went, they took me to a place, a French guy, was a chef in a restaurant in Manhattan, non-kosher, was not religious. French Jew that lived in New York back then, many years ago, I don't know, 15 more years ago. So they told me, anyone who tried, nothing works with this guy. You have no idea how stubborn he is. Can you come? I said, when will I come? I finish my lecture at midnight. After midnight, he's up, don't worry. His roommate is bringing me in. No matter what I try to do with him, let God kill me. Why does he keep me here? I deserve to die. You're right, look, I make holes in the wall. I saw that this guy is actually only looking for attention. He enjoyed that people come and beg him, become religious. So I told him, it's okay, you don't need to be religious. You can do whatever you want. What do you mean? You can do whatever you want. The way you behave, no problem. You can do whatever you want. He was happy. Then his roommate told him, you fool. You know who is dismissed from keeping mitzvot? People that their brain is damaged. He got very angry, started to curse me, kicked me out of the house. The next morning he was in shul by Rabbi Simantov, Alav Shalom, in Brooklyn. Then he became his assistant. He got a machine. He was making tapes. There was no CDs yet. He was making tapes of Rav Simantov, Alav Shalom, Moshe Simantov from Brooklyn. He passed in his 40s. He was actually duplicating. He had a machine with tapes. We have one tape and it makes 20. He was making tapes of Divrei Torah, Mezakeh Arabim. He left the non-kosher restaurant, grew a beard, became religious overnight. Why? If we would beg him forever and ever, nothing will change. When someone told him, it's okay, you don't have to, do whatever you want, go. Ah, yeah? You don't want me? I'll come on purpose. That's how it goes. כי הלימוד אינו נקבע באדם כי אם ביישוב הנחת. If you want your student to connect to the learning and be successful, he will never work with fear. Will never work with fear, or with stress, or with pressure, or without happiness, or with violence. None of the above will help the learning. None. The only time the student will do well when he's in a happy, relaxed mode. That's when he succeeds. Meaning, sometimes he doesn't want to make it too long. So, well, only half an hour? Yes, only half an hour. Better half an hour that he will focus and tomorrow he will come with happiness. Then you force him to stay an hour and tomorrow it's already going to be a punishment for him. You got to be clever. The Gaon Mivilna, is not only talking about little children. He's talking about every human being. Even when you're 40, 50, 60, you want your student to succeed, give him love. Smile to him. Give him compliments. Don't put him down. Don't ever tell him, I don't understand. How many times I have to explain to you? What's wrong with your head? Don't talk like this. Say, no problem. It's very difficult learning, I understand. For me, it was also difficult when I learned it back in time. This is how you build this confidence, that he's waiting until tomorrow shiur. This is a very important message for life. If you understand what I say and observe it, you will see how it's going to improve the children and everyone you're dealing with. One avrech, this is based on the words of the greatest psychologist, Rabbi Shlomo Hoffman, in Eretz Israel, that without his words, they would not release any prisoner for prison in Israel. There was a committee. They have to cut a third of your punishment. If you got 21 years in prison, they have to decide if to release you after 14 years, 7 years to cut. It's no joke. After an interview with Rabbi Hoffman, he would write his opinion. If he's positive about it, they release him. If he say no, you should not release him, they won't release him. It was a very, very serious big shot. And this is what he says. Avrech shenikla lechovot. A guy that learns in yeshiva, and he owes thousands of dollars to people. Now he's debating what to do. Should I continue to learn as usual, or I should quit yeshiva and go to work and pay my debt? What do you think? A person come to ask your opinion. Rabbi, I'm learning in yeshiva for a few years. Now I owe $10,000 to people. But if I continue to learn, how will I pay them? I barely pay my bills. Should I leave yeshiva and go to work and pay them? Or since I'm busy with the most important mitzvah in life, learning Torah, let them wait. Hashem is more important. What's the answer? What do you think? Everyone agree with that? He went to Rav Eliashiv, top authority. He was the chief rabbi of Israel, meaning officially there was a different one, but he was the biggest rabbi in the world. Rav Eliashiv asked him, can you focus on the learning? When you owe money to people and they're looking for you and they knock on your door and when they see you on the street, any news, Moshe? Any news? Or they call your house? One guy, he borrowed money from a wealthy guy for 3 months. The date arrived, February 7th. So his wife told him, why are you so nervous? Why you cannot fall asleep at night? It's 2 a.m. already, usually by 11 snoring. Tomorrow morning the guy will come to collect and I don't have a penny to pay him back. She said, for that you're not sleeping? I thought it's something serious. What's his number? What you want to do? Let me call him. She called up the rich guy. Hey, Yitzchak. Yes. You waiting for your money tomorrow morning? Of course. You can dream about it. We don't have the money. Goodbye. She said, why shouldn't you sleep? Let him not sleep. Unbelievable. Why you don't sleep? Let him not sleep. The Torah says, in case you didn't know, make some rooms for all the people. There's some room over there for the lady and some room over here for the men, and here. You know, the Torah says, Loveh rasha velo yeshalem. Do you know the Hebrew translation of this verse? What does it mean, Loveh rasha velo yeshalem? It should have been Loveh. It should have been Loveh rasha velo meshalem. A wicked person borrow and does not pay back. That's the proper language. Why the Torah say Loveh rasha velo yeshalem? And he will not pay in the future. Because in the time that you take a loan from another person, if you don't have a backup plan how to pay him back, you're not allowed to borrow. If you borrow, you are rasha. I'm opening a pizza store. Lend me $20,000. And what happens if the pizza store will not work? Are you going to pay me back? Come on, Moshe, where is your emunah in Hashem? Why are you jinking me like this? Jinx. Why you make ayin hara? Of course it's going to work. I have the best guy. He's an expert. I make it the store very nice. It's a good location. But what if it's not going to work? How are you going to pay? Okay, I have my wife's jewelry. Usually that's how it goes. I have a diamond here and gold and this. It's worth more than 20,000. Yes? That's my collateral? Okay, give it to me. Here. If I don't pay you, take it. Oh, so now you're not wicked. If I don't pay you, take my car. Here's the title. I signed the title on the back. You have it. The car worth more than 20,000. Or let's talk to my father-in-law. He's going to back it up. In case I cannot pay you back, in 2 months he gets his pension money. He's guarantee for the money. That's how you take loans. You're not allowed to gamble with someone else's money. Most of the religious Jews do not know it. They borrow and they gamble. Some of them even gamble mamash in the stock market with the money. Why? Someone else would lose. I'll come and cry to him. Moshe, I lost the money, forgive me. I don't have how to pay. No, the Torah says the minute you took it, you're already, in my eyes, you are rasha already. Why? Because you did not have a plan how to pay back. Love rasha velo yeshalem. In the future. How do you know if he's going to pay or not? It's in 1 year. You don't have a plan how to pay, and you take money. If you come to the person and say to him, I don't have a job, I don't have assets, I don't have anything. I want you to know my situation. I'm a very miserable guy. I have an opportunity to buy a taxi and to become a taxi driver and make $1,000 a week. But I need $15,000 for it. And slowly I'll pay you from it. But you know, everything can happen. I may make money, I may not. Would you lend me the money? Yeah, I'll help you out. Bezrat Hashem, you won't fall. Here, that's no problem. I told you my situation. But if I come and I say, oh, don't worry, I have money, people owe me, money comes next week. It's all lies. I have to be very careful. He went to ask Rav Eliashiv, I owe money to people and I sit in yeshiva. Should I leave the yeshiva or I continue to learn and let them wait? Rav Eliashiv asked him, can you concentrate in your learning? You sit and learn Gemara, can you concentrate? So he told Rav Eliashiv, yes. Rav Eliashiv say, if I would be in your situation, I could not concentrate a minute. The biggest rabbi in the world that knew the whole Torah by heart, everything. I would not be able to concentrate when I owe money to people and the wait. And I'm sitting here enjoying on a nice chair and learning Gemara and enjoying life. How can I believe you that you concentrate? That you can concentrate? I wouldn't be able to concentrate. I owe money to people and they're angry, they're upset. פסק לו שילך לעבוד ולכסות את החובות ואחר כך ישוב ללמוד. Take a break, go work, go collect, I don't know what, pay back what you owe and go back to yeshiva. That's the Torah of Rav Eliashiv. Rav Eliashiv, the Gdol Ador. Not me, Rav Eliashiv. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, the Gemara says, מועד קטן י"ז מהי דכתיב כי שפתי כהן ישמרו דעת ותורה יבקשו מפיהו כי מלאך אדוני צבאות הוא אם דומה הרב למלאך השם יבקשו תורה מפיו ואם לאו אל יבקשו תורה מפיו. What's the difference between an angel to a human being? I will translate soon what I just said. Who can tell me the main difference between an angel to a person? What's better, to be an angel or a person?
Person has choices.
Person he has a free choice to make right choice or wrong choice. But most of the people make the right choices or the wrong choices? The wrong choices, by far. At least 90-something% of the people always make bad choices and wicked choices. So what's better, to be an angel or a person? If statistics show that most people end very bad, what's better, to be an angel, Gabriel, Michael, or it's better to be a person? What do you think? Let's first understand what's the difference between Malach and Adam. ההבדל בין מלאך לאדם הוא שאדם עושה את רצון השם. A person does Hashem's will, and we're talking religious person. He follows Hashem's will, God's will. אבל מעורב בזה גם רצון עצמי. But there is always personal will involved in it. What's in it for me? What's in it for me? Not only for Hashem. And he has his dreams and ambition and personal targets. But an angel is 100% to do the will of Hashem. He has no personal involvement, no personal goal, no personal will. The angel is 100% a machine, a robot. I am a servant of Hashem. I don't have my own wishes. And a person always have his own personal will. So it's good or bad? What do you think? If the person cancel his personal will when it contradicts the will of Hashem, I'll give you an example. If a person wants to open a butcher shop because the butcher shop in town has too many question marks about it, the meat is kosher, not kosher, So he's thinking, I will invest $100,000 and I will open a store and I will sell 100% glad kosher halak bet Yosef. And also, I'll make a living. I was working now in this job. Instead of making money here, while I'm selling meat, I also make money. Anything is wrong with that or no? Is it right or wrong? Perfectly normal. Your intention to make money and feed your children, it's not a sin. It's also the will of Hashem. Hashem wants everyone to have parnasa with dignity. When it becomes a problem, when the meat that came to you today, it's not so perfect. The shochet is, the original one was not there, he went away, someone else bought it. It has a big question mark about it. You have to either sell it and make another $5,000 this week, profit, or you have to tell your customers this week there's no meat until the shochet will come back from Argentina. I don't have meat. What do you mean you have meat? I'm not sure. I wouldn't eat it. Why should I sell it to you? Do you understand? Or when you are a sofer, you write tefillin and mezuzot. Accidentally you made a mistake. Now you cannot fix. You work 3 hours on a mezuzah. You work all day on a tefillin. All day. You made a mistake. You have to go all the way back now to fix. You cannot. There's the name of Hashem. You cannot erase it. 8 hours I put in my life into it. I'm sweating, dripping sweat. I supposed to deliver the tefillin tomorrow morning and make few $100 profit, which I need badly to feed my children. So the will of Hashem that I will make money, yes. The will of Hashem that the tefillin will be kosher and another Jew will do a kosher mitzvah, yes. But now it's not kosher. If I'll sell it to him, it's not kosher. So now there is a contradiction between my will and Hashem's will. Which will should always win? Hashem's will. And the truth should always be above. The truth should always be above. Many of us, we are zealous to Hashem as long as there's no price to pay. Once we have to pay something, meaning our time, we get headache, all kinds of problems, automatically we drop our intention to do the right thing. Leave me alone, it's too much headache. But why? We have to do what Hashem said. But it's too much headache for me. I thought it's going to be a 1, 2, 3 thing. Well, now when I see that it's too much headache, I'm giving up. Here you go. His personal will was to lay down and do nothing. And what happened after that? When he saw that he has to work, he dropped immediately the will of Hashem to the garbage, and he went after his will. This is what life is all about. How many people chose women that they were not supposed to choose to marry because they were so not modest, they were so arrogant, they had no yirat shamayim. So based on Hashem, they should have never married them. But they went after their desire. My will against Hashem's will. I went with my will. And now I pay the price for 30 years. If it lasted so long. Same thing women. They went with a man for money, for status, and it was against the will of Hashem because she was very religious and innocent, and she went with him for what he had to offer, not for the truth, and now she has to pay the price for the next few years and suffer. Every time the will of a person and the will of Hashem collides, make sure you always stick to the will of Hashem. Aser retzoncha kirtzono. Make sure that your will eventually will be like the will of Hashem. You have to adjust your will, that what Hashem hates, you hate. What Hashem love, you love. Hashem hate idol worshipper, you hate idol worshipper. Hashem does not like Mechalelei Shabbat, you do not compliment and kiss up to Mechalelei Shabbat. Hashem doesn't like liars, you are allergic to liars. Hashem does not like thieves, you also allergic to thieves. Hashem hates zima, you hate zima. Hashem loves Torah and holiness, you love Torah and holiness. If your traits and your will be like the will of God, you are like Avraham Avinu. And if not, you're simply not. So the difference between the person and an angel, that an angel has no will to get involved here. No contradiction. But by the person, there is always a personal will and interest. We move on. The Rambam is talking now about kochot hanefesh. What does it mean, kochot hanefesh? A soul of a person is divided to 5 categories. We have nefesh, ruach, neshama, chaya, yechida. 5 different parts of the neshama. The lowest part, the spirit, the lowest part is the nefesh. Nefesh is the blood. The Torah said, don't eat the blood of the animals, because the blood is the nefesh. Ki adamu ha-nefesh. Don't eat the blood. Then above the blood you have the ruach, the spirit. That's the intelligence, the knowledge. Then you have the soul, the neshama. And then you have 2 other parts, which is chaya and yechida, that it's already very high and it's very Kabbalistic explanation what it is. Most of us, we should know nefesh, ruach, and neshama. Now, the Rambam is talking now about kochot hanefesh. Nefesh, it's half physical, half spiritual. Just like the sun. The sun is half spiritual, half physical. Why? Because the light of the sun, there's room here, right here. Come, don't stand in here. Make them rooms here, guys. The light of the sun has a speed of light. To have a speed, you need something to be material. Without material, how there is speed? But on the other hand, this speed works in a very mysterious way. It will always accelerate to 300,000 kilometers per second. No matter how you stop the speed of light, after you stop it, it would accelerate always to 300,000 without any energy, without any power that push it. Very interesting. So it's half spiritual, half material. The nefesh, the same thing. Blood, it's physical. You hold the blood in your hand. You feel liquid. Liquid is physical. But also the lowest part of the neshama, it's there, the nefesh. The Rambam speaking about the power of the nefesh. In case you did not know, there are 2 blessings in Judaism that are critical. Every time you say them, you have to have full intention. Don't just say it. Say it with full kavanah. One of them is Asher Yatzar et Ha'adam B'chokhmah, and one of them is Borei Nefashot Rabot V'chesronan. Borei Nefashot, Nefesh, is talking about the Nefesh, the spiritual aspect. Asher Yatzar et Ha'adam B'chokhmah U'varabo Nekavim Nekavim is speaking about the body. If every time in your life you say the bracha, Borei Nefashot Rabot, you say it with kavanah, your nefesh will never be mentally sick. We're talking refuat nefesh. You will not have mental disease, and you will not have mental disorders. In case you are asking what's the difference between mental disease and mental disorder, mental disease, it's a defect in a chemical balance of the body. The brain does not create enough of the chemical that make you happy, make you hyper, make you calm, like bipolar, like schizophrenia. This is physical symptoms that create an impact on the soul of a person. And this is the examples that I gave you. How do you treat chemical problem in the brain? By taking medication. The medication is replacement for chemical problems in the body. What is mental disorder? It's nothing to do with chemical. It's trauma because a bomb exploded where you are. Someone stole all your money. You got divorced. Your shidduch got canceled in the last minute. They embarrassed you and shamed you in the whole world. Things that can make you never be the same after that. Now you have a trauma. Someone offended you. Someone abused you. It caused you a mental disorder. You're fearing men. You don't want to go on dates. Someone abused you when you were young. It made a scar in your nefesh. You develop paranoia from men or from dating. You will die single unless you're going to get treated by a psychologist who knows what he's doing. There's no solution for you. But when there is problem with the actual brain, when the chemical imbalance, you don't need a psychologist. Million psychologists cannot cure the problem. You need a psychiatrist to write for you medication. Remember the difference. Mental disease and mental disorders. Now we are talking about the power of the nefesh, the potential of every human being. Let's see what it is. The Rambam, the greatest Maimonides, the Rambam, he gives a beautiful example from the desire that a person has for money. Who here can raise his hand and say that he doesn't have any desire for money whatsoever? Anyone here can raise his hand? How wonderful the Jewish people are. Everyone so honest. Not one liar, hundreds of people, now one liar here, Baruch Hashem. Now one person raise his hand, Baruch Hashem. Because it's very normal to have desire for money. Don't feel bad. As long as it doesn't become the only thing in your life and you become addicted to it. Why I want money? I want to wear a nice clothes for Shabbat. I want to get the best rabbis for my children. I want to have a good car that can drive me around. I want to have a comfortable house with rooms that I can have guests. This is all legitimate dreams. What's the problem? Why not? I want to have billions. Not to buy a stupid baseball team to play on Shabbat. No, not for that. Not to be a movie star and to gain power and to control people. No, that's not what I want money for. I want money that I can sponsor 10 full yeshivot. That I can make another 1,000 Baalei Tshuva every week. For that, it's mitzvah to desire money. The problem that we desire money for the wrong reasons, Rabotai. Why we desire money for? Food, vacations, pleasure, sports car, jewelry, all baloney. Everyone agree so far? The Rambam say, I will give you an example from Ta'avat HaMamon. 3 people are working very hard to get money. Let's see why. First person, the reason he wants to get money is to satisfy his desire and to gain pleasure. Pleasure. Swimming pool in the backyard, pleasure. Fancy sport car, pleasure. Vacation to the nice places in the world, pleasure. The most expensive food and whiskey, pleasure. Right? And many other problems. Okay. Because without the money, he cannot achieve his pleasures. That's the first type of people. Second, he doesn't care about pleasure. Why does he so anxious to get money? To gain honor that he never had. He grew up poor. Nobody looked at him. The rich people never looked at him in a class. He feel inferior. His dream one day to make the first 10 million in a deal. Now I can buy a fancy Mercedes and drive in front of all my friends that put me down and show them I made it. I'm above you now. He doesn't care about the Mercedes. For him to drive Toyota is exactly the same. No difference. Or even worse than that. There's only one thing in his mind. I have to prove that I made it. Honor, ego. Remember this. He will give tons of donations in public to show you he doesn't really care about the money. The money, it's not what interests him. It's what the money will get for him, which is honor. That's why his name will be in every shul and in every parochet and every place. Do you have something that I can put my name on? I'll send you $1 million. No. Don't bother me. Why? I have to show the world I made it. It comes from the subconscious. Not always from the conscious. If you tell him, you're full of ego. Me? Ego? What are you talking about? Me? Ego? I'm so humble. Look at me. I'm playing with the kids, with With the poor people, wow, did I ever make you feel that you're less than me because you're poor? No, not that kind of ego. You won't do to them what people did to you. You know not to do that. You want your name everywhere. That's ego. And the third kind, Rabotai, what's the third kind? Just to accumulate money. You hardly use anything. Wear the same simple clothes, drive simple car, live in a very modest home. Just to gain, no matter how much he has. He runs after it like crazy, work until 10 at night. Why is it? What's the benefit of working like a dog all your life to save more? You have $100 million already. You have enough for you, your children, your grandchildren, for everyone. Why is it? Rambam say it's a mental disorder. That's the right word, disorder. Just gaining money for the sake of gaining money. It makes him feel great. Nothing else. Just to gain money, that's also a mental disorder. סוג של מחלת נפש. From the outside, all three look the same. All three of them killing themselves to get money, you agree? But each one has a different cause. First one, he doesn't have really desire for money. He has desire for pleasure. Give him the pleasure for free, he doesn't want the money. Don't give me money. Give me a free membership to the most expensive country club instead. Just give me a yacht. Give me a fancy car. I don't need the money in my hand. Give me things. I want pleasure, I don't want money. My rich uncle allow me to use everything for free. I don't need money. I have what I want for free. I'm not after money. I'm after what pleasure money buys. Remember this. Second one is for honor. And the third one, actually for money, to accumulate money. Now, why do I give you these three examples? Because each one of the three, all three has the same remedy, or each one of them has a different remedy. From the outside, all of them are sick in the same sickness. They're all money hungry. Right? From the outside, he has a fever, and he has a fever. But each one of them has a fever for different reason. Why has infection in his gum? One, so he needs the dentist to cure him. One has infection, he had something not good, so that's what causing the fever. And another person has an infection, broke a bone or something, and he needs to go to a doctor to actually have a surgery to fix the bone. Each one has a different, they all have the same symptom, but each one has a different root of a problem. One, the dentist can fix it. One, the doctor that will make an operation and put a cast or whatever he needs to do. And the other one is internal medicine. Three different ways to cure a person. That's why not always what you see from the outside has the same medicine. No. Sometimes you come to the doctor and you tell the doctor, I have pain in the back of my head. And the doctor check your feet. Well, doctor, I told you my head hurts, not my feet. Don't worry, we know what we're doing. Touch here, touch there, and he writes something for you. Rabbi, I told you my head is working. Don't worry, we know. I tell you what it is. Take this twice a day, three days, and you're good. You'll be good. Right away, he saw what it is. But he will never know that it comes from the legs or from somewhere else. Let me read to you the words of Rabbi Israel Misalant, the founder of the Musar movement and the ethic. And this is what he writes. Kadome האיש המתמיד בלימודו, someone that is very devoted in his learning. מצד הרגלו וטבעו, that's his nature. He has a hidden trait. We have traits, right? All of us have traits. Anger, jealousy, laziness. This is traits. Everyone here know all his traits? Or you think that there are traits that you never recognize by yourself yet? If you're 40 or 50 Is it possible that you live 40 or 50 years and you still do not recognize yourself 100% with all the traits that you have, good or bad? Is it possible or no? What do you think? Is it possible that you live 50 years here and you do not know yourself well enough? Possible? Let me give you an example in the name of Rabbi Israel Misalant. Let me give you an example. Chadome, האיש המתמיד בלימודו. Someone is very devoted. מצד הרגלו וטבעו. From his nature. ויש לו כוח נסתר המשתוקק לכסף. He has a hidden traits. What is it? Hunger for money. He's a בחור ישיבה, 17 years old. He barely had money in his hand ever, besides few dollars that his parents give him here and there. You come and ask him, Yankale, are you greedy? Me? You love money? I never think about money. All I care is about learning Gemara. I love to learn. Do I look to you someone who runs after money? No. I'm asking you, do you love money? Are you greedy for money? Are you going to kill for money? Of course not. Why are you asking me such a stupid question, right? It sounds like a stupid question, no? 17 years old, בחור ישיבה. Listen carefully, רבותיי. והכוח אינו ניכר. You cannot recognize that this person has greed for money. Yet. Soon you will understand what I'm about to say. יען כי אין לו דרך לזה. Why? Because he's not involved with business. He doesn't have money, he doesn't make money, so he never actually realized that he has these hidden traits that is very hungry for money inside him. He will explain later on, exploit. What is it? כי מצבו ותהלוכתו אינו דרך המסחר. He doesn't do business. He never worked, so he doesn't know anything about money. ולא ראה כסף מימיו. This was written over 100 years ago by one of the most important educator, Rabbi Israel Misalant, Rabbi Israel Salanter. ולא ראה כסף מימיו. He never saw money in his life. וממילא אין להכוח נושא במה להאחז. His hidden traits have nothing to eat from. I'll give you an example. When you have fire, the fire survives only where you have wood, right? Or paper, which is also wood. Fire needs something to eat, right? If you don't have something to feed the fire can expand or no? The fire cannot start. Fire needs something to eat, just like we need to eat. If the fire doesn't have food, the fire will not do anything. You agree? Okay. So now, for years there's no fire. That's not true. There is fire. But the fire cannot expand. And no one knows there is a fire. You know when you will know? When you give food for the fire, then you will realize how big is the fire. Right now you still do not know about it. Wait. כי הכוחות שבאדם, כל זמן שאין להם דבר חושי במה להאחז, all the hidden powers of the human being, as long as they don't have what to stick to, נסתרים המה בפנימיות הנפש. They are hidden deeply inside the nefesh. Nobody is aware of it. He's proud. He's a proud person. He has pride. He has ego. He has anger. I never saw in my life. I'm shocked. Oh, you know why you're shocked? Because this is the first time in his life that the test came. Until now, there was never an issue. Listen carefully. בל יראו החוצה. גם בל נודעו. No one ever heard of it. No one even know about it. Even the person himself does not know. כאשר יהיה איזה סיבה שיצטרך לאחוז זמן במסחר, and the first time in his life when he will go into business, that's when you will find out that the greed was always there. Because now we're talking big money. I know a guy that got married to a wealthy wife that has a rich father. and the father somehow pushed him into business. He was learning all the time, and now he pushed him into business, and now all he does is business. What happened to the Torah? Was forgotten completely. But when he was in yeshiva, if you come and tell him, I give you $300, don't go today to yeshiva. You crazy? I cannot live a day without learning. When the big money came, okay, he work and work and work and work and work until 1 hour a day doesn't learn. Finally the truth came out. It was always like that. You just didn't have a way to know it. until יזניח כמעט לימודו לגמרי, מחמת הכוח על הזה, אשר לא היה מאמין על עצמו בשום אופן. If you come to him when he was 17, and you tell him, can you leave the Torah and forget about Hashem and run after money all your life? Are you crazy, Rabbi? This is what you think about me? I'm gonna leave the yeshiva? Do you know how many opportunities I have to leave the yeshiva and go into business? I'm not even considering it. Give him a huge offer, get him out of the yeshiva for 1 month and see after that what's gonna happen. Someone that loves the Torah will never leave the Torah for any amount of money. So, כל הכוחות והעניינים הטובים שבאדם יוכלו להיות מופרות מכוחות מתנגדים, אשר בסיבה קטנה התעוררו בחוזקה להפר כל נתח טוב. Before we conclude, I just want to make it clear to everyone. When you look at yourself, if I connect you to a lie detector right now, if I put a lie detector over here, and you never get angry, you're a very calm person, very calm, but you have ego. You know that you have ego, but you never know that you are angry, because usually you're very calm and cold. How will I find out, how will I prove to you that you have anger? How will I prove to you that you have anger? You convinced that you don't have anger. Me, ani lo ka'asan. I'm not an angry wolf. How will I be able to prove to you that you are angry? Huh?
Are you denying it? Make him angry.
Make him angry. How do you make him angry? I repeat my question. Reuven knows he has big ego. He admits, Rabbi, I have problem with my pride and ego. The rabbi saying, what about anger? Oh, anger, God forbid. I'm very good with that. Last time I was angry, maybe 20 years ago. I never get angry. How the rabbi can prove to him right now that it's a lie what he just said. Now remember, if you connect this Reuven to a lie detector, he will pass the test. He's not a liar. He really believes that he doesn't have anger. When will the anger explode in a minute? Huh? Very good. Chazak u'baruch. Chorasho. When you destroy his ego, big time, not a little bit, big, massive attack against his ego, he would lose his temper and ready to kill you and throw the table in your face. How come he never did it in 20 years? No one ever dared to mess with his ego. Either he was an important rabbi, or an important president, or an important businessman. No one dared to mess with his ego. And the first time a person messed with his ego, the monster came out. Then he asked his wife that night, I cannot believe that this is how I reacted. I always thought that I don't have kas. Look at me, look how I behave. I want to jump from the window from embarrassment. He had the anger 20 years every day inside his system. But today, for the first time, someone triggered it. Do you understand? That's how it goes. Mamash, before we finish and we accept the next speaker, Rav Ronen Shaulov, I just want to say one more thing and we'll be finished with this, Bezrat Hashem. A person thinks that I'm already fixed with certain traits. I don't have anger, I'm not stingy. I don't have to work on it. His rabbi told him, you have to work on everything. No, Rabbi, I don't have anger. Why should I work? Why should I learn anger? Sometimes people ask me, Rabbi, what's the topic? What's the topic? The topic is anger. Oh, I don't need this. Baruch Hashem, I'm very calm. I'm very calm. The topic is generosity. Oh, I'm already very generous, Rabbi. I give tons of tzedakah, right? I don't need it. This is what he say, listen this. Rav Israel Misalant. אדם חושב שעקר לגמרי יצר הרע שהיה לו, ולכן הוא מזניח את העניין. אין לו יותר עניין להילחם בכך. והנה כעבור שנים רבות ברגע אחד חוזר אליו הניסיון הזה. שומעים? להילחם בו, ואז הוא נכשל בגדול. Translation. A person that was sure, I got rid of anger, I got rid of stinginess, I got rid of this, I got rid of lies, I'm not lying anymore, I'm a man of the truth, I don't move an inch from the truth. And that's why he's neglecting it. He doesn't learn about it for 20 years. And then one day it explodes in his face and he's go back to square one. Why? Just because you didn't experience it doesn't mean you're not sick. Do you understand what I'm saying here or no? I'll give you an example. If a person has the virus inside his stomach, he has the virus, but he doesn't see the symptom of the virus. So what does he think? I don't have to worry about it anymore. 1 year I did not have any symptoms. Like people that have herpes. Every once in a while, blisters comes on their mouth, around the mouth. When the blister comes, it's very contagious. That's a sign that the disease explodes right now. It's in a high level. Then it goes down, then it can go up. Ask the doctor, they'll tell you how it works. So when a person did not have it for a while, what does he think? Baruch Hashem, Hashem made me a miracle, I got rid of it. But if you go to a blood test, what's going to happen? Tell him you have it. Any minute it can explode. Take your medication. No, I don't need medication. Same thing bipolar people. I knew a guy, every 3 months he was hospitalized here with handcuffs, behind bars like a jail. All day needles and shots. Why is it? The reason, because every few months he stopped taking his medication because he was sure I'm good. Here I did not get the attack. And then a week or 2 or 3 later, boom, an attack, police, arresting him, bringing him into the hospital, closing him in a jail, 3 weeks inside with medicines. And one time I spoke to his doctor because I kept going in and out to visit him all the time. One time I called this Jewish doctor, and the doctor told me this. You know what's the sad part here? If he only took his medication regularly, he can go 10 years without one attack. So I asked him, so why does he stop? He said, because it makes him a little heavy. He doesn't like the feeling. Makes you a little bit heavier. But what's to be a little bit heavy, tend to have an attack and maybe killing people on the street? Driving, banging into people, into cars, losing your control. Mamash lasting for tonight's lecture by me, just to conclude. במשך השנים, ראש ישיבה דיבר איתי הרבה על ההבדלים בין אדם למלאך. My ראש ישיבה told me always and always and always what's the difference between a human being to an angel. And remember, he was already a big rabbi. Why the Rosh Yeshiva talks to me like a kindergarten? מה זה גן ילדים פה? Rosh Yeshiva keep telling me, do you know what's the difference between malach and Adam? He used to ask me, who is higher, an angel or a person? What HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants from you, to be an angel or a person? HaKadosh Baruch Hu רוצה ואנשי קודש תהיו לי. Exodus 22:30. I want you to be holy. How you become holy? To become holy. Angel is always holy. From the minute I created him, it never become holy. People become holy or the other way around. An angel is created without Yetzer Hara and is a servant of Hashem. And you without Yetzer Hara, you're worth nothing. If a person does not have Yetzer Hara, he cannot be in this world. The only reason you're here is because Hashem wanted you to be here with Yetzer Hara, with evil inclination. That's why you achieve a lot. The Yetzer Hara, people are afraid very much from their desires, but I want everybody here to know. Someone that have desire for money is not a criminal. Someone that have desire for food is not a criminal. Someone that has desire for women or women for men, it's not a criminal. Even a man that has desire for all kinds of crazy things, it's not a criminal. You're only a criminal if you fulfill your desire against the instructions of the Torah. Remember this. If you love alcohol and you want to be drunk and you want to walk like this and stand on a table and dance with Bukharian music until 4 a.m., you have this desire, you're not a criminal. You're only a criminal if you do it. You stand in front of all the people with your yarmulke, you're drunk and you vomit and you dance on the table, embarrass your wife and all your children, then and you chas v'shalom do chilul Hashem, you became a criminal. But even if someone became a criminal, doesn't mean he has to die a criminal. Yesterday you were a criminal, today you can be a rabbi. Work on it. Fight, be honest, sweat, and you'll be a big tzaddik. I have a great honor, Baruch Hashem, to invite my very dear friend, Rabbi Ronen Shaulov, that came from Eretz Israel, specially to speak here tonight. Yes, yes. Rabbi Ronen and me, please have a seat. Rabbi Ronen and me, Rabbi Ronen and me, we spoke together in Eretz Israel a few weeks ago, Baruch Hashem. He's doing very well in Eretz Israel. He speaks in Hebrew, he speaks in Russian. It's a great advantage. There's a lot of Russian people in Israel that need chizuk. And also over here. I want everyone, please, to continue to sit. No one should leave. Please, if someone needs the bathroom, please do it quietly. I have another lecture, so I would have to leave in the middle. Please forgive me. I will stay a little bit, but then I have to leave. What's up? The rabbi said I should go on another 5 minutes. He doesn't know what he's risking. But actually I needed 4 more minutes. Tov. Anyone who needs bathroom, do it now before the Rav starts. Like this, when he starts, it's going to be quiet here. The Gaon Mivilna, the Gra, is speaking in few places about the fact that Hashem made the Yetzer Hara to help the person. Nothing was created for nothing. If a person is jealous, it's normal. If a person is full of desire, is not corrupted, is normal. If a person has drives and desires, is normal. Someone that does not have it is not normal. Remember, person that doesn't have desires, person that doesn't get attracted to anything, something about him is not normal. Remember, to have desires, this is the way Hashem wanted you. That's how He sent you to the world. What are you fighting it? Fight your Yetzer Hara not to chas v'shalom make averot. Don't make averot. Work on your jealousy. When you see someone else is successful and you feel bad in your heart, sit all day and learn about jealousy. That the next time when you see this person succeed, it will make you happy. Shtabach Shemo, he makes Hashem happy. I'm happy. Why? My brother make my father happy. I love my father, I'm happy. No? If one brother is suffering that his other brother make the father happy or the mother, what does it say about him? That he really doesn't love his parents. Why does it upset you? Someone else made your parents happy. So it's not you. You should be happy. זה היה פסיכולוג גדול של הרב שח, של הסטייפלר, של כולם, על פיו יישק דבר, המומחה לכוחות הנפש. שלמה הופמן. כל גדולי ישראל היו באים אצלו, הרב שח במיוחד. רבותיי, בעזרת השם, we will continue next Monday. Don't forget, every Monday I'm here, Baruch Hashem, this beautiful place, every Monday. We continue the series. Next time we're going to speak about, of course, other things. Every week it's something different than the previous week, that eventually we'll be able to finish a lot of interesting things. I'm going to speak about what was really happening between Cain and Abel, why the first murder really happened, what part of the soul it comes from, and many other important things that reflects to our life. With no further ado, Rabbi Ronen Shaulov, thank you very much everyone, Shavua Tov. חזק וברוך, תזכו למצוות. תודה רבה.